Hello everyone, welcome to One Connected Love. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Christina.
And we're true twin flames in union. And we're here to talk about another interesting topic, and that is, does the divine masculine run?
Yeah, that's a great question of does the divine masculine run? I know that so many people have experienced this kind of energy. So many people have also, given the divine masculine almost like this stereotype of being the runner in a twin flame relationship, of not wanting love, not wanting to settle down, and everything that sort of comes with that. So I'm excited to talk about this today. So I've got some questions for Daniel, and Daniel, as a divine masculine, will give us his perspective about whether does the divine masculine run. So let's get started.
Yeah.
If you're ready. All right. So as a divine masculine, have you ever experienced a desire to run?
I think in the way that people think about running, where it's like, I don't desire love, I don't desire my twin flame, I kind of just want to shut down and run away. No, I personally have not experienced that. For me, in my journey, I've had kind of a challenging, dating life in the past, to where I eventually reached a point where I was like, no more of this. I want my person. It was very serious. I had reached a point where I was like, I'll never date again. I will never date again if it means that I don't meet my person. And that's kind of when I had like an awakening. I found out what twin flames were. And then from there, but ever since I found out what twin flames were, I've always only sought my twin flame. I've always only, wanted that really deeply. So no, I have never felt like I need to get the heck out of here. Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. So then why do you feel that the divine masculine has this stereotype of running, being a runner, so to speak?
Well, I think it's a lot of things. I think we've discussed this in the past. I think men, they don't express themselves the same way as women. They just don't. Women are generally, very expressive of their feelings, and that's great. But men, they think differently and they feel differently in their own way, and it's not a bad thing. It's just different. And what I think is that this stereotype comes from the idea that people, are expecting their twin flame to express the same way they do, or to feel the same way they do. And when they don't receive or perceive that they're not receiving the love that they're giving back, then, it creates this feeling of, that person doesn't love me, that person doesn't think about me, so that person is like rejecting me, and so they're running from the love that I'm giving. Yeah. And I think that's kind of where that comes from.
Yeah, I feel that. I think that people really have this idea that the divine masculine, runs, but I think so much of the time that it's what you said. People kind of expect their twin flame, or the person who they're in a relationship with, to think exactly as they do. And I think this is a good opportunity to kind of clarify that. So twin flames, you do make the same core choices. You're one at the core, right? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're, the exact same person, right? You're not carbon copies of each other. You are complements of each other.
Right.
And so, honestly, for me, how I look at the one consciousness thing that makes the most sense to me is you're both occupying the same space.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're in the same room together. And so if there's a big elephant in the room, you both know there's an elephant in the room, but one of you might be looking at one side of it and the other might be looking at the other.
Oh, that's really good.
But it's present in the consciousness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so if you look at it that way, I'm not sure, that's the best way that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
If you look at it that way, then it's really not your twin flame has to be thinking exactly the same thing as you. And I think this, so he must be thinking it too. And I think that creates so much like dissonance and upset.
Yeah, it does.
When people have that idea that
it's a lot of pressure too.
Yeah, yeah. Like, you're having a relationship with another person, and your twin flame, first and foremost, is your greatest teacher. And they're going to teach you about healthy relationships. Not by giving you instructions, but just by being themselves and reacting to you. Right? And so I think that's a really important piece to remember. Cool. So is it only the divine masculine that runs?
No, definitely not. At least in our experience, I've seen many times where the divine feminine is also called the runner, right? But I think it's not only the divine masculine, but we need to really get clear on like what running is, I think.
Right. Okay. So what does it really mean when people experience this running energy from their twin flame?
Yeah. So like Christina just said, your twin flame is always reflecting you, right? They're always reflecting you. And if you're experiencing running from your twin flame, it means several things. It means that you have expectations on your twin flame, that you expect them to respond and feel and express the same way that you do. But what true running means is that you're putting your attention outside of yourself onto someone else. Our teachers, Jeff and Shaleia, teach that the proper hierarchy of where your attention should be on God or the divine first, then yourself, then your twin flame, then everyone else.
Yeah.
So you, next to God, under God, you are your highest priority. Your attention should always be focused on loving yourself for the purpose of being closer to God, to the divine.
Yeah.
Your twin flame being in your life is a reflection of how much you're loving yourself and working on yourself. So true running means that you are taking your attention off of yourself and you're putting your twin flame on a pedestal and then trying to make them the source of your own happiness. And that doesn't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah, and like your twin flame can't give you, like, just cannot. Nobody else can give you what you can only get from yourself.
Yes.
If you haven't given yourself the proper attention, if you haven't loved yourself in a certain space, your twin flame could give you all sorts of attention and it wouldn't actually properly fill you up. Like, it wouldn't feel the same as if you had fully loved yourself in that space and your twin flame was reflecting that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I think an important takeaway here is to realize that when you're focusing on yourself and you're loving yourself, that isn't separate from loving your twin flame, because you're one. When you're loving yourself, you're loving your twin flame. But when you are loving your twin flame as if they're outside of you, as if they're not you, then you are running from yourself. You're avoiding your own feelings. And that's actually what is creating the perception of division, of separation.
Yeah. And like, when you properly honor the order of your relationship, which is like when you properly respect that, it needs to be God first, then you, then your twin flame, then everyone else, everything can fall into place because that is the natural order. Right. You can't prioritize anybody over yourself. Right. Yeah, good. So the last piece here, which I think we've mostly touched on, is what do you recommend for someone who is experiencing this? Yeah. And I do want to just make it clear that everyone experiences this at some point, right? They experience... Yeah, it's a learning lesson. It's a learning thing, and everyone experiences this, separation. It's not necessary, but it's just an opportunity to learn about yourself. But I think what I would recommend for someone that is experiencing, running, would be to do inner work and work on the feelings that make you feel like you cannot be happy without your twin flame's love. Like, look for those feelings. What is it that you're really looking for that you are trying to get outside of you from your twin flame?
And, we use the mirror exercise, which is again taught to us by our teachers, Jeff and Shaleia. And the mirror exercise teaches you to move through your feelings and get to the root of what you're actually needing in that hurting space, in that lonely space, right? And clear that out and work on that and give yourself all the love that you need. And that is like the biggest thing that you can do to change things. Again, your twin flame being in your life is the reflection. It's the response to how much you are loving yourself and your well-being and taking care of yourself. And loving yourself does not mean that you're not loving your twin flame.
Exactly.
Because you're one. So I think that is like the biggest thing. It's seek out all of those places where you feel like neediness or needy energy, and give those things, give yourself that love that you're needing in that space, and that really clears that out. I do want to say that if you want to know what the mirror exercise is, we have done mirror exercise videos in the past. You can look those up. You can also check out the book by Jeff and Shaleia, Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover, which goes really in depth on explains how to do it. But that's really all that you need. That's really all the twin flame journey is it's about healing yourself, loving yourself, and because you feel so enriched inside, you receive an enriched life with your twin flame. Because, you're one again.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, well, that feels really good and complete. We hope that you enjoyed the video this week. Once again, we are Daniel and Christina, and we are Ascension coaches, and we do private coaching and group coaching. If you're interested in checking out how we can support you, check out the link below to our website, oneconnectedlove.com. We would love to support you on your journey and, help you get into harmonious union with your twin flame. So thank you again for watching this video, and we'll see you next time. Take care.